Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain. Alright, so this quest here, it is our third part to our Vault of Night chain. It's in House Kondarak, just like the others here. And it is given by a person named Clips. Now this quest is a little bit unique. It does actually have two parts to this quest. Um, guess it would help if I'm selecting the right option. So the first part here is kind of like a walk to the entrance. This one is Gateway to Khyber. And as you can see, so if you pop in and you see a very small amount of experience, that's because it is just a small short little walk to the quest. It also does allow you to use the horse, which I'm not going to be using. I just wanted to point that out. It does actually count towards like your elite bravery or reaper and so on and so forth. So just make sure that you are doing this on your hardest difficulty to keep that bonus rolling.
As you emerge from the gulch, trollish war drums begin to beat a steady rhythm. One of them spotted by Aloevain.
And yeah, it's a very, very simple, very basic, like you can see the entrance is there already. Basically, there's just a few waves of these trolls. They kind of come in little spurts. So yeah, all you gotta do is just kill them, move to the next wave. Some people even just run to the end. Ultimately, all you gotta do is there's 4 troll casters right at the door, and that's all you gotta kill. So this one's a super simple little walk up, but again, it's worth 3,000 experience. So as well as Reaper experience. So why not? And ultimately, you just kind of follow the path, and it'll lead you all the way there. There's no real twists or turns in this. It's just straight to the entrance. So there you have it. Kind of full of a bonus as you're gonna get. There's no breakables or anything like that. So here we are right at the entrance. There's the 4 casters we gotta kill. That's that. If you want to get that last little optional where it says to slay the overlords, they're just right down there. There's a couple of them along with a few other enemies for an extra tiny little bit of experience. They also have a set of shrines over there as well, though if you are stepping into the quest, it does refresh your spell points, your hit points, and most of your clicky based effects, unless you have a clicky that only recharges 1 a day and has several charges. There's no use to shrining. So here we are. We're going to step into the actual quest, which is Jungles of Khyber. This quest here is a quest that a lot of people like to farm, both in heroic and in epic. As you can see, now that we're in the quest itself, we're at 33,000 experience. So it is a really nice chunk of XP that you can get. And it is a little bit more of a difficult quest, but again, it is a very, very fun quest. So as soon as you walk in, directly on the ramp to your right, So right there, heading up, you can get a named character. Now this guy doesn't always spawn. As well, there is also a chest that can spawn right here. And again, this one here also doesn't always spawn. And they're not, like, one is not linked to the other. So you might get none of them, you might get both of them. You might only, in our case, get one of them. So it is changes. As well, throughout the quest, you'll notice this giant Marut there walking in the background. And he's essentially our Big Daddy boss. Alright, so as we get around the corner, we're gonna, well, run into a Reaper. And you're from there. You're gonna run into one Scaro and two Scorpions. Our Scorpions are just hiding at the door. Two Night Scorpions specifically. On top of that, you're actually going to have another Scorpion that spawns in the hall here. He's stuck up on us. That's the Deathstalker here. So if you don't run up the ramp right away and then hop over, usually run into him right and around this spot right here. But I'm going to head over here and see if we can't get our last Scorpion. I don't think we killed him. Or maybe we did. Alright, so this trap here at the door, it is a little unique. It doesn't activate until the door itself opens. Now the door itself is on a slight timer, so the trick to solving, like to getting in without getting hit, is you have everybody run at the door, and then you have one person stay behind and pull the lever. As soon as they pull the lever, they want to run at the door as well. It'll actually get you past the traps before the door fully opens. On the other side, they do have some archers, as well as some other enemies, so just be aware of that. So I am gonna summon this here, just as a diversion. I'm gonna pull the lever and then run right at the door. And there you are. You're able to get in without ever having that trap hit you. Now you can go ahead and grab the trap, which the trap boxes are located just after the trap itself. Another thing I would like to point out is in this quest you cannot get Ingenious bonus, which is your full tier trap bonus, without the use without running into one of two optionals. The first optional can be located right here. And the reason this is each of these optionals spawns in a chest with a trap. Now, these trap chests, it allows you to get 4 total. So you only need one of these two, but it allows you to get your 4th trap box, which allows you to get the full bonus. Now, some people, I know I have in the past, gone and reset the quest until I run into one of these two rares. They are located fairly close to the beginning, so one being there. The second is actually just through this door right here. So it's quick and easy to check. So with a little luck, we're going to run into the optional. And here we go. So there's the optional. And here's his chest. So with this, it'll bring us up to our 2nd tier, and then there's one more trap to get, which will bring us all the way up to our Ingenious, allowing us to get that full trap bonus. Alright, from there, we want to proceed in. Now notice the locked door here. As soon as we pull that lever, this door is going to close and lock behind us. So if anybody is stuck out behind it, they can pick the lock to enter, or they can simply wait, as it is also on a timer. As well, when you pull the lever, it's going to spawn in a bunch of scorpions in this room, so I'm just getting ready for that. And it also brings in a Scaro here.
Forest streaks erupts from behind you.
So this is one of the more annoying and difficult fights, as you kind of are in close proximity. And for my character specifically, I don't do well close range. However, if I did happen to die, or you do happen to die, there is a shrine just a little bit ahead, which I'll show you in just a moment. So once you complete the room, just ahead and actually up, you will run into a couple of enemies, kind of on the ledge here. Directly to our left, we have a wizard. And then you do have a few more enemies just up top, which there are a couple of ways. So you can either shoot them, you can ignore them, as mostly with those two there, they can't get you, especially if you're shrining. Or if you have the speed and the jump, you can actually hop up there. And as you can see, my jump at the moment is a 24, so it's not too great, but it's not too low either. Then I do have a speed item, so with a higher jump, like, you would have made it no problem. Alright, so next we're going to continue heading west.
The inevitable footsteps thunder across a stone bridge ahead. Several drow flee ahead of it in terror.
They're talking there. And then you can see him up there. Once he's done his little bit here, he's gonna basically animate these stones there. So there he is. And then once all these guys are dead, our door's gonna open up and bring in a whole bunch of drow there as well. Alright, so once everyone's dead, let's proceed on in. And we're gonna run into our last trap right here. This trap activates again once you pull the lever, so it is safe right up until that point. And there's our full bonus. On the other side of this door, we have a path heading left and right. Right is the direction we need to go, or east. Directly left, we have 3 enemies, one of which being another named. Now this named optional does spawn at 100% chance, so he's always there. We also have another chest here. Now this chest, once opened, will spawn in 2 scorpions right where I dropped that turret. So just be aware that you're not blindsided there, checking out your loot and then end up dying. From there we want to head up and around the corner. Now this is something a lot of people don't know. That hole right there is actually going to spawn in a few enemies once we proceed a little bit past these steps here. So we're also going to have some enemies cross, which is what happens. Most people rush up ahead to kill them, completely forgetting about those guys there. So there they hop down. And again, it just comes down to the, getting caught unaware. The enemies themselves aren't too terrible, but if you don't know they're there, they can end up doing a lot more damage than you expected. Alright, proceeding through the tunnels. We just got a few small groups. Alright, gonna stop and grab the healer there. Should be getting pretty close that I can get my reconstruct, and I
You
won't
stand
really need
amidst a
the
scene
hireling
of
anymore.
terrible slaughter.
Alright, so a little bit further north,
Inevitable
as you
as
see, we
already
got a few
past
guys
this
coming
one.
around the corner. Now you can actually rush up around them to meet them, though as a range type character I tend to like to hold back and let them do their thing. Just down around this corner we have a few more guys, and actually once you start attacking it can actually pull a decent amount of them, so just be aware of that. Oh, and a plague reaper, not really a fan of that. There we go. So if you tend to rush around right around the corner and start attacking them, you might again run into a large group, as
You
you
see
got the
signs
few
of
guys
ancient
coming up,
architecture in the halls ahead.
as a decent amount in
Geralt's
there
tribe must be
as
living
well.
in the
We're not
ruins of
actually
an
done
older
yet, so we
civilization.
still have a few more guys that it could have pulled. They kind of just wander back and forth. We have 3 sitting over the campfire here to our left or west, so I'm just going to quickly kill them. If we were to head right, heading east, just around the corner we have another optional. Again, this one is always up. So as you can see, along with it being a fairly decent amount of experience for the quest, there are a large amount of optionals. And the optionals are worth a decent amount. Like, the ones that were always up, those ones were worth, 1,500. The ones that were up, like, might spawn in, there's 2,200, 2,900. Like, there's a lot of experience that can be earned out of this quest. And there's still several optionals left that might spawn in as well. One more guaranteed one here. So once we get to this section here, it can become a little bit of a maze. So just bear with me here. So right to the left, and then left again, it's going to run you into a dead end. And this dead end has a few enemies here. As well, just behind me here, there's also a collectible. If you guys are into that thing. From this point, you want to just head straight and follow the path down. Now from here, directly to our left, we will have a pit heading down. Down here, there is a chance for another optional, which I'm not actually seeing the chest there. As well, if you aim it right, you can actually attack a couple of these guys here before you head down. Make it a little bit easier on yourself. As well, down here, as you can see, is a large portion of breakables. So we're at 5 right now with no bonus. Once we're done in here, we should have, well, several more, as well as actually a couple of parts of a bonus, if not the full thing. So as you see, we were able to get our full ransack just in this one room alone. So it's definitely worth hitting up this kind of storage section. Once you're up and out, we want to head again left and just hug this left wall. So the real trick to getting out of here and hitting everything is hug the left side. And that'll get you out, along with getting everything that you need to get within that section. Now you can follow the other path, as you see it turns off there as well. All that you're going to find is maybe one extra guy to kill, depending on where they are in their patrols. Alright, so at the shrine here, a couple of archers as well as a chest. The chest has a key, which you do need. Now, one thing to point out, if you are shrining at this point, don't cast any buffs on yourself unless you have arty type buffs, as what's coming up next is actually a bunch of beholders, which like to remove any type of buff. Though there are some
Uruk
types of
steps
buffs
down
that
the
they
hall to
cannot
your right,
avoid,
relentlessly focused on its target.
which are the remove, which are the arty buffs. and I believe certain alchemy buffs as well, as they
The gate
actually
ahead
buff the
marks the
weapon and
outer
the armor
boundaries of
and
the
not
grounds.
yourself. So for this section, right
You'll enter
directly
the
ahead,
main
we
section of
have
the
our
cave.
first beholder.
In the distance, you've never heard of a beholder
Then
serving
you'll
as
actually
guard
have one
or
coming
anyone
down from the
else.
left and the right.
If you imagine a
Typically
guard
speaking, it
being
is the one on the right hand side that comes first. And apparently, so he can get rid of Lucky Cape, he can't get rid of the other one. And then we'll have another one coming down from that path there. We can either wait for it. I tend to just head right and head on up here. Now there will be another beholder up here as well as another possible optional. There's our optional. Alright, and he does have a chest located at the back of the room. From this location, as a range type character, I can use that to my advantage, taking out a few more of these beholders. Alright. Alright, here. So make our way. Nobody down there. If you choose to head left, it'll actually bring you up top to here, which again can have a named beholder. We did not get that one, so you can actually end up with 2 named beholders in that section. And it looks like we're done on the beholders. Alright, as well in this room you will find 3 ruins spread somewhere in here. Locations are here, here, obviously where the one spawned in. You can get them, I fell all the way down, darn it. You can get them around the corner just down there, on the wall here, as well as up and on top of these mushrooms. You can find them on the wall here, both where that one is and down below. As well as on the wall here. So there are several places that they can find. If you just give a quick scan of the room using like your Q function to target them, they should be fairly easy to spot. Alright, now that you're
clusters of giant mushrooms grow
continuing
more
on,
sparse as you emerge from the beholder's domain.
uh, what you want to do is you can now use your buffs as we're done the beholder section. Once dropping down here, we do have a little bit of a waterfall. Now
Ahead,
they do
torrents of
have
water
another
plunge into
optional
the
here.
pool far below. If you leap into the waterfall, there will be no turning back.
Now this optional is always up. In order to get it, you actually gotta make your way along these little pieces there to that section. In order to do that, the best recommendation is not to run, not to jump actually, as you tend to hit the wall and it kind of throws you off. But to have a decent speed, kind of walk up on this block right here, and just walk up and around the corner. From here, of course, you want to jump to each next section. There we go. So we didn't do too bad on the optionals. As you see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 of them are always up. 3 of them were optionals, and then there were an additional 1, 2, 3 optionals that we could have gotten. So, you know, in a full run, there are a lot of extra experience that you can get out of this quest. And of course, we got an extra chest in here. Now, this next section is the beginning of the end fight. To get here, you can either jump right from these mushrooms here up and over, You want to head over this right here. If, however, you don't happen to make it right here, they do have an air jet,
Into the air nearby.
which standing on it will throw
Powerful
you up
enough
and
to
over,
lift a heavy
or
weight.
at least up and on. If you're holding the forward key, it will push you over. Though, I like being up here, as I can safely range them without taking really any damage. Once they're dead, it starts opening up these doors here. So the first one to open up is this door. And as each door opens, it is going to have a few more enemies to fight. Alright, so now that I got them, before I go any further, as this next part is kind of like a tri-boss. There actually are 3 bosses there to deal with. So, one of which being a beholder, so again, there's no point buffing up before this fight. So just north we got a chest, or not north, sorry, east. We have a chest and a collectible there. Feel free to grab that before this fight. That way if you do happen to party wipe, although you have a shrine right here, so that shouldn't really happen, but at least you get some loot out of it. Now, these enemies are actually located just around the corner here. As you see, there's a little bit of a blue barrier that you can see. Once they die, that barrier will drop. The easy way to fight them, I find, is to pull them into the big room here, rather than fighting them around this little corner. Now, there are a couple of tricks that you can employ to do this. Um, the one I like is with an arty. If you stand in about the center here and use a turret, the beholder is actually too big to now pass. Same with the troll. They both tend to get stuck. The beholder always gets stuck. The troll gets stuck about 95% of the time. So there they are. As well, the other trick is to kill the beholder first, as he's the biggest and biggest pain in the butt. So as he's stuck there, we can just sit there and shoot him. Once he's toast, then I can focus on this champion caster right here. And then finally, our troll, who has sadly broken my turret. Though I can just come by, cast a new one. So by putting the turret up there, it really stifles this fight. Kind of only allows one of them through, allowing you to range the other ones, making it super, super easy. So arties for this fight, using that turret can definitely make it real easy. And that trick works both heroic and epic. Obviously in epic, the turret doesn't really scale up at all, so it tends to die super fast, but it does give you that extra moment to, you know, fight the beholder or fight whoever, to give you that little edge up. Alright, so now we're done. We can proceed through the hole here. Or the door, not the hole.
Vale chose a dramatic battleground for her last stand against the inevitable.
So there's Vale. Now, what we need to do is approach her and talk to her. Once we do, it will spawn in that Marut that's been, basically, we've been following this entire dungeon, and he will be our total, like, our actual end boss. He does have a damage resistance to all types except for Chaos. So if you do have a Chaos weapon, or as an arty, if you do have alignment weapons, which you don't yet get at level 11, you can use that on your bow, allowing you to bypass his damage reduction. As well, on this back wall here, in Epic, you will run into 3 Earth Elementals, which you will see once you come through that door. Um, and they'll spawn in once the fight starts, as well as there's a couple there behind the door as well. Alright, so here we are. And for our end fight. So as an arty, the guy is actually relatively slow. So he's really not that hard to just kite around. He does have some insta-death effects, which he was trying to use on my turret there. So just watch yourself if you do happen to have his aggro. And there you go. So as you see, we got 46,000, almost 47, and that's base plus all those little extras. There's what we'll say 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11. We'll say 12,000 experience on top of the 40, and all that in 26 minutes. So it's a really nice chunk of XP to get. It actually pushed us from rank 56 all the way up to 58, so it did give us a full rank and a little bit there. So we were mostly through 56. From here, just finish out, and that was the Jungles of Khyber and Gateways of Khyber quests. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys later. Have a good one, all.